you all for joining us today for today's workshop session on digital content creation for educators by super educator Amit K. Mehta sir. Now, this session is brought to you by Teacher.in in collaboration with EdChat India. Now, before we get into the session, I would warmly welcome all the new participants who joined us today for the first time to the Teacher Network. So Teacher.in is a professional network for K-12 educators where educators can connect with fellow educators, exchange ideas and resources, attend training and upskilling sessions like these, and leverage that training to find high-paying teaching jobs and other employment opportunities. So there are three verticals that we currently are in, which is community, jobs and training, and we call it the Teacher Revolution. You can check out all the information on our website, which is teacher.in, teacher with an extra R. Moving ahead, we have some ground rules that we'd like you to follow so that we have an amazing learning experience throughout the session. The first and the most important rule is that I request all the participants to please keep your mic on mute and your video off so that it saves your bandwidth and your learning experience is not hampered. Now, from our side, we will be muting all the participants during the entire course of the session. And in case if you have any queries or questions, you can post them in the chat box. And if you do not have access to the chat box, you can unmute yourself and ask the question when Amit sir gives you a cue. However, in the remaining or the rest of the cases, you can push your questions to the dedicated Q&A session, which will be at the end of the session. It will be a 15-minute Q&A with Amit sir. And in case, the most important rule is in case if you face any technical glitch, we request you to please stay calm and try joining the session again. We are recording the session from our side and we would be sharing it with you all after the end of the session once you fill the feedback form. Now, moving ahead, introducing our super educator of the day, Amit K. Mehta sir. Mr. Amit Kumar is an educator, researcher, and a trainer. He is working as a faculty cum trainer of computer science with Navodaya Vidyaniketan, Government of India. He is also acting as a trainer cum resource person of the spoken tutorial project of IIT Bombay. And in addition to this, he is also serving as a key resource person for the implementation of ICT tools in educational curriculum. And in this regards, he is directly working with CIET and the NCRT. He is also associated as a researcher with the College of Information Science and Technology, Nanjing Forest University, China. In addition to this, he is a recipient of the prestigious National ICT Award in the year of 2015, and he received this award from the Honorable President of India. So yesterday was a very interesting session where we learned a lot about the IPR rules and the various ways in which we can make content very interesting and engaging, and the easy ways in which you can prepare, interesting content like that. Now, in today, we would be going in detail with regards to the other aspects of content creation, and I'm super excited about this. So thank you so much, Amit sir, for joining us once again.
Thank you, Varun. Thank you.
Over to you. Yeah.
Okay. I would like to thank you again for giving me this opportunity to interact with the educators. And as we left it yesterday on the 21st century skills, which I was talking about, and we also did some exercise on different means creating some innovative content. Now, I'll be talking about one important thing today, which is flipped classroom and how to implement it. And in implementing the flipped classroom, we will learn a lot of tools around, right? So, what is a flipped classroom? This presentation, in fact, will also tell you how I have used the techniques which I was telling yesterday on. Also, like whenever you are making a presentation, use colors, use shapes, and the size of your fonts should be enough to be read on the mobile also, right? So you have to think from the perspective of the audience, not from your own perspective, right? So a flipped classroom is an instructional strategy and a type of blended learning where students are introduced to content at home. This is very important here, and practice working it to school or college. And in this blended learning approach, face-to-face interaction is mixed with the independent study, usually with the help of ICT. If I explain it further, to be brief, like in flipped classroom approach, students watch pre-recorded videos which an educator has created, also at home, of course, and collaborate online in online discussions with the peers or sometime uh, with the educator also, but normally with peers, or carry out the research at home and then come to school to do the homework with some background knowledge, right? So that means in this concept, the role of an educator is only like a guide, like a mentor, right? So it is more focused on student engagement and active learning, uh, giving the educator a better opportunity in, in order to deal with the mixed level of students, because there are smart, I guess, sharp students in the class, and sometimes few of them are comparatively slower also. So you have the opportunity to deal with all the different mixed level of students. Also, you have the opportunity to address the student difficulties and differentiated learning style also in the class.
Sir,
Right?
sorry to interrupt you, sir. There's some audio issue, I believe, because there's some resound. Can you please check it once? I'm really sorry to interrupt you.
Okay, wait. Is it okay now, Varun?
Yes, sir. It's much better.
Okay, okay, okay. So I'll be talking about this flipped classroom. Flipped classroom is 70% work is done outside the classroom, as you can see in this infographic, and only 30% work, the one third of the work is carried out in the class actually, right? So if we compare it with the traditional classroom, it's very different. Like what happens in traditional classroom, the teacher instructs and student take notes, student follow the guided instructions, and teachers give assessment and student have the homework. But here in the flipped classroom, what we are doing actually, we are doing like teacher instruct the lesson at home through video, through podcast, sharing a book, sharing a website, sharing infographic, sharing some animation, sharing anything which has been created. I think someone has to mute him or herself. Okay, so he is actually teacher is sharing the resource by creating it, right, with the students, and student will receive it through ICT at home only, and after that student prepare at home and come in the class with a deeper understanding of the concepts or applications, and connection to each contents are made, and student receive support as needed, because teacher is there only a facilitator or a mentor, right? So in the Flipgrid is a tool to implement flipped classroom. There are many tools to implement it. I also use Backlit to implement this. I also use Flipgrid. Right now I'm talking about Flipgrid, right? So how it works actually, we create a group in the Flipgrid tool, and we add a topic to that group. Finally, we initiate a discussion. This is the role of educator only, right? And after that, uh, when we initiate a discussion, there starts role of ICT actually. Whenever we talk about the Flipgrid, we talk about audios and videos, right? Means the resource will be shared with the students in the form of audio, video presentation, or recorded video, or simply a screen recorded video. It can be a video clip. It can be a recording of audio and video. There are many types of audio video means, resources which can be shared by a teacher with the students, right? So here are three of them. Like first is screen recording, which we were doing yesterday also with the help of Screencast-O-Matic. But Flipgrid have inbuilt camera to record your screen. Isn't that exciting? And Flipgrid also can record you as a simple audio, your audio or video, again through its own camera. It's again exciting. And we can also upload a video clip which is already there in the computer. So Flipgrid provides us something which is more than a tool, because we can record our laptop screen, we can also shoot our video, we can also upload and pre-recorded video, right? So after we record or upload our video or screencast, then a code will be generated, which we share with our students, right, at home, of course, and they will watch that video or audio resource at home. After that, it's time of student to work. Student respond to the topic by capturing or uploading their short videos or audios that are shared with your grid community. It will be shared uh, with you. There are two options. You can make your grid public or private. Private in the sense you can make it to have access to particular email IDs only, and uh, which may be called a limited access. And a public means anyone across the Flipgrid community. Obviously, it's an educator community, so they can also see what's happening in your grid, right? So it depends on how far you want to take it, right? So otherwise, thousands of videos and your lesson plans in the form of videos are there. Various teaching ideas of learning are there available in the community, which you can always refer to uh, before preparing yours, right? So in this way, students record their videos through Flipgrid app, right? It's available in app also, and it's available in as a web tool also, so it can be accessible on Windows or Apple OS, and also it's available as an application for the mobile, right? So what happens? They record their video and they upload the response. Like we shoot a prompt, we ask them a question, and they answer through that video. They basically talk about that concept through that video. Now, as I also told you yesterday, that uh, we cannot doubt that students aren't interested in video. They are doing it in a great way. You will be astonished to see that, because I wasn't able to concentrate on every student when I used to take classes, because it's not easy for us to focus on 40 students at a time. We have a 1:40 ratio in NBS. So, but when all the 40 responses are submitted to you as videos, you can always uh, give a personalized feedback to students and also observe a particular student. And sometimes you will be absolutely amazed to hear the response of the student whom you would not have imagined even they will speak out. It's an amazing thing, right? So finally, what happens? Teachers provide feedback to the individual student. The platform is there in the Flipgrid. It can be a text-based feedback. It can be a video-based or audio-based feedback also, right? So here is an example of the grading rubric where a student video is received on my Flipgrid, and I provided basic rubric feedback on his ideas and performance kind of points, and also have a textual feedback to give him some message, or I can always send it by clicking the email feedback option, or sometime if I would like to share this particular video with someone in the community or in my educator network or student network, I can always have the share button on top. There are many options available. You'll see, right? So finally, after taking the feedback, students apply the key concept, uh, and the flipped learning continues, because it's not the end of it. It's actually the beginning of it. It's a uh, video and audio communication between educator and the students. And most important thing, sometimes we are worried about, like what is the amount of space allotted to a particular account. Unlimited space. It's a Microsoft platform, which is under their CSR, so it is particularly for educators. So there is no, as such, no limit of how many videos and audio responses we can receive on our grid. Rather, they encourage you and they uh, give you a badge uh, when more and more video comes on your platform, right? And next thing is, what is the limit of videos that we talk about? Okay, now what is the main motive behind it? Motive is again empowering every learner on the planet to share their voice and respect the diverse voices of others, because it's a platform on which a student is sharing his voice and also learning to respect others' voice. Also, it's creating a global empathy. So this platform can be used for pre-K 8 to high school staff, also PLN, also community. I've used it in many ways in my PLN as well as with my students also. So it's like there is a library where we can, which is called Discovery Library, Disco Library, where we can access thousands of resources available, which are created by educators around the world, and we can have an idea to apply it in our subject, because there are educators. There's a big community impact. There are educators which are working in mathematics, sciences, social sciences, English, and they have been using this platform. Computer sciences, everything like arts also. So we can take an idea and apply in our class, right? So we'll talk about it now. Practically, I'm gonna show you something how I applied. I'm going to share my screen. Is my voice audible and the screen share is visible? Can I have feedback?
Yes, sir.
Okay, that's fine. So I just opened my Flipgrid account, and I'll show you how Flip Learning works actually. So here is the option of educator sign up. First of all, you have to sign up, but I have already signed up, so it's time to log in into my account. This is the dashboard you come across, and here's like I have created 82 groups, and various topics have been created. I've been working with global uh, many educators around the globe. So it's a very interesting thing. I would like to take one example. I, I had to teach a topic called cybersecurity and awareness in my computer sciences. It's just a topic. So I just organized a virtual symposium kind of activity that I wanted to, I assigned a topic to all the students, or sometime I take a common topic and want everyone to speak on this. And it happens. And finally, what happens when I throw a topic, and after that, students submit their responses. These are the responses which have been submitted by the students. So, I would like to show you. There are views, there are likes. It's like social media experience for them, and it makes it interesting because we cannot stop them to use social media. But why can't we make that social media kind of experience? Why can't we take it into our
Hello
life?
everyone, many greetings from Sharmila Pitan. So today I'm going to throw some light on a very major cybercrime, that is ransomware. So what is ransomware? Ransomware is a malware, or it is a software that is specially designed to damage your computer.
See how I have assigned particular topics to the students, and they responded on it, and then I gave them feedback also on their ideas and also their performance, as well as some text to appreciate them what have they done, and pressing the email button will take it to their home. In fact, so here, like 70% of the work actually they are performing. I have already designed a topic. I've shared a link with them to submit their ideas and their preparation on that topic. And after that, I evaluated. And the best thing is it remains as a record for me, right? That whosoever done whatever has been done and over they are performing, it's a kind of record which is being maintained also, right? It's like one example. Now, if you want to, you can also like we organized means like I was working with a college, and in there was an NSS group of that college, and I trained their NSS group and faculty to use this wonderful platform. And what happened after that? They organized an event for COVID awareness for general public. They altogether asked me to organize this. So I just use Flipgrid as a platform to initiate a topic like grid of NSS on awareness on COVID. And what happened? They submitted their responses.
Sir, sorry for disturbing. There is some kind of audio disturbance that while you're speaking, sir. So, okay, please check it once.
Okay, good.
Dear educators, sir will just join. Meanwhile, I hope the teachers who had attended yesterday's session had received the emails of the session containing the presentation and the details regarding the assignment. If you did receive it, please post it in the chat box. And if you haven't, I request all the teachers to fill in today's feedback form, and you can do that.
Okay, is it okay, Varun? I'm back here.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Much better. I think the audio is far more clear now.
Okay, now give me
Yes,
the screen sharing access rights. Okay.
Yes, yeah. I just shared it. You can begin.
Okay. Done. Okay. Is it visible? I'm back to it now.
Yes, sir. It is visible and it's clear. Yeah. Thank you so much.
Okay. So what happened? Like I was working with them, so I just asked them to prepare the video. Initially, they started with simple video. Then they evolved. They prepared their means like slideshows, uploaded them. Whatever work they are doing, they were like evolving, because students are so good with the videos things. They use their mobile itself, right? And they prepared wonderful, effective video with the extra animation effects and all. So I could not believe how they performed. Feedback option was also there. Everything was there. So I was it was happening like, so there are many ways in which you can flip your class, give the assignments or projects to the student and ask them to submit it in the form of videos and audios, and they do it very well and beyond our expectations. How we can use it will come on it later. Here is another example of another platform called Backlit, and I have applied Backlit tool also for collaborative flipped classroom. It's a real collaboration also, because they featured this approach on their official blog too, this tool, right? So here, what I actually did, it was focused to teach the student these all key 21st century skills, that is communication, creativity, critical thinking, curation, collaboration, and the digital citizenship, right? Initially, I initiated the topic in my class. It was a pre-pandemic period, right? So it will be all, this approach may be used post-pandemic also. So it was like I initiated the topic in the class. I also told them the cardinal rules, like we were talking about them yesterday, all the IPR and the Creative Commons issues, right? After that, I introduced the topic and asked them to do the research on the topics at home, in their extra time, whatever they want. But it's their job. I flipped the topic. It was a whole chapter. The topic was divided among the group of people, like 5 or 6 students were taking one topic. So they were working collaboratively, because Backlit allows you to work on a single presentation in a collaborative manner. I'll show you that also. After that, they worked collaboratively. Also, the critical thinking was applied to solve those problems. It was like one of the chapter also was cybersecurity and awareness and all things, and another was of coding. So how they applied themselves, like you can see that everyone has opened the same presentation and they are working on the same presentation simultaneously, but they're different laptop, because that Backlit presentation can be accessed collaboratively, and simultaneously many people can work on that, right? After that, they came up to improve their communication skills, because they presented me the topic in the classroom and to all their peers also. So I was only the evaluator. My role was to introduce the topic, and my role was to evaluate what have been done. So whatever they have done was also available with me on the Backlit, as I was the one of the collaborator also. So finally, I filled the learning gaps, if any. So it was all in all wonderful approach, and it ended up in a happy note, because 2 or 3 chapters they covered with the help of the approach. But it was like introducing them to the technology with a mission. When your mind has a purpose, you explore everything. And I could see this student, which I thought that they are not speaking at all in the class. They came up with flying colors, and it was unbelievable to see them, incredible to see their performance in the class in front of everyone, right? It is empowering your kids with this flipped approach and giving them access to the educational tools. So Backlit and Flipgrid I particularly applied on this flipped classroom approach, right? So how we can do it and how it can be applied, we'll talk about this. First of all, I was just continuing the yesterday thing. Yesterday, I was talking about, when I initiated about collaborated flip classroom, I talked about the your many tools which can be used to initiate your topic. See, Flipped classroom is a pedagogy. And it's a pedagogy approach, not pedagogy. In fact, it's a student-centered approach in which students have most of the work to do. Teacher is a mentor during whole work. He will assign the topic, he will initiate the discussion. After that, student will take control with the help of technology, with the help of the research on internet. By collaborating with each other, they will develop the concept and finally present in front of the class or in the form of video audio, that whatever they have understood. And then it's time of the teacher to comment individually on everyone's understanding, right? And whether they are right on track with that concept or not, right? It is actually a two-way process in which student can interact with the ICT and they get empowered to use them. In doing so, they develop the key 21st century skills in them. Because yesterday also I was talking, like, you focus on the skill first. What skill you want to teach to your student? After that, you decide the tool, which tool you think that most of them can use. And third part is map your chapters or syllabi with that tool or with that pedagogy, with that approach, right? So it's a reverse process altogether. So here main thing is that teacher should introduce the content to the student in different manner. One is audio or video, another can be an interesting presentation, another he can introduce the topic with the help of a mind map, he can introduce with the help of a word cloud, he can introduce it with the help of a game, animation, anything. What are the various tools which can be used in flipped classroom approach to introduce the concept or introduce the topic to the students? First, we need to understand this. And what I have prepared it for you is a mind map, actually, which I was talking about yesterday. I'll just click this plus button, and here you can see it. This mind map has expanded, right? So here is a list of various type of tools which can be used to initiate a flipped classroom, right? Where your student can take in the control. You can prepare a mind map to introduce a topic in your class. You can have an infographic. You can prepare a word cloud. You can have a gaming tool also, if your class permits. You can have an animation tool or a graphic designing tool. Interactive assessment tools can also be used, right? And audio video resources can also be prepared by the teacher, and presentation. So content can be prepared by the teacher in various ways. You can see all the lists, right? Now, we were talking about the mind maps yesterday. I'll expand this. So here are the various software which are available freely to introduce any topic through mind maps. FreeMind is there, MindMaster is there, MindMeister is there, XMind is there, FreePlane, Mindly, and as well as Lucidchart, right? So the tool I am using here is a MindMaster, and the tool is free, but when we share its product with the students or export it into a PDF or JPG, it will carry a watermark of MindMaster, because without watermark, it's a paid thing, right? But for education purpose, it's enough, right? FreeMind is always free. It's a free and open source tool. Okay. There are many other tools also. So today we'll be talking about this. I'm using these tools, FreeMind or MindMaster, a lot, right? So you can have an infographic through Easily or Adobe Spark, right? You can create an infographic to introduce a topic. You can have, I used actually Adobe I also used Easily to introduce a topic. Adobe is a much better and free tools nowadays. Then comes the word cloud. We talked about the word art yesterday. Wordle is there, Word It Out there, word clouds is there, many tools available, right? For kids, for the educators who are dealing with the younger age kids, they can do it with the help of gaming tools. They are like EduActive, your GCompress, TuxMath, H5P. They can use these tools to prepare something, or just used the games in EduActive and GCompress. They're kind of tools which are actually students think they are playing with them, but actually they are learning a lot, right? So this is more for the primary kind of kids. And after that, animation tools, Scratch for the basic programming for the kids second to sixth standards maybe. And your Stop Motion Studio is a wonderful app which you can use to tell stories to the kids. Like when I was in NCRT, we just prepared a Thirsty Crow story with the help of this tool. This is an app through which you can prepare slide by slide frames and then play those frames in the form of an animation, and it becomes a video. So here is a list of various tools, free tools, which you can use. When I come to the presentation, so I know we are all aware of the Microsoft PowerPoint. I don't know whether you use it effectively or not, but main practice is to take a good slide template, and after that applying transition and animations to it. It hardly makes a difference, but the basic elements of the presentations are like you use shapes, you use colors, you use pictures, because student, we have to focus on the things which make it interesting. The learning should not be like a corporate presentation. It should be like very interesting for the kids, and they should feel that they should create something. Google Slide is there, online of course, and free also. Another FOSS tool is LibreImpress to make a presentation. Other innovative tools are like KineMaster is there, Prezi is there, Zeeting is there, Microsoft Sway is there, Wakelet is there. I've already told you, I'll show you also. Then audio video resources. We can use these tools like Flipgrid, Screencast-O-Matic, or Screencastify, OBS, Format Factory, Loom to create audio video resources, particularly video, and record our screens also, right? And interactive assessment tools. We all know, we are familiar with the Google Forms. They are interactive enough nowadays. And Microsoft Form, Hot Potatoes is there, Kahoot is there, more Quizzles is there, many others are there. I just listed few free tools. For graphic designing purposes, for the students who are creative, you can use GIMP, Inkspace, or Google Draw. And Google Draw, by the way, is a collaborative tool. You can assign a group project to your student on Google Draw. They by logging into the same account, or maybe their separate account, they can access the same drawing board and work with the same tools on the same drawing collaboratively by sitting at their home far away, right? So it's like a very effective tool for drawing. So like there are these n number of tools, but first of all, I have created the mind map with the help of MindMaster. So MindMaster is available free of cost on internet. You can always download it. I'll just demonstrate that the way I have shared a concept with you. Okay, I'll just fold them again So that is goes in again by clicking the negative sign. Everything is in now. Okay, I'll just fold them. It's a wonderful thing. Whenever you prepare your mind maps and try to explain in the class, and when the mystery unfolds, everything is like interesting. So here I'm negative sign. It's again folded back into the original flipped classroom folder, right? So it's like whenever you click the plus sign, it will expand like this. Further plus sign, further expansion will occur, right? So how to create such wonderful tools, wonderful infographics. So it's like open a new, there are empty of things available here for you. So it's like you take a radial map maybe. I just took that. This is the main idea. This by default. You write something here like ICT in education, right? So here like if you want to insert anything, there's a topic, right? Subtopic and floating topic. Subtopics are always linked to this. Floating is separate. We just click the subtopic button, and here is a subtopic will be created to ICT and education. So we'll like when we talk about ICT and education, so we can talk about audio, right? We want another, right? So in order to create another topic, either we click this plus button here to create another topic, audio, video, right? Or plus but images, right? Or either we can again click this subtopic, text, right? Again, center and subtopic, like anything like infographic, right? Again, this. Presentations, maybe something like that, right? So you are creating this, right? So this is how basic structure is created. In order to go further, click this and hit the plus button, and again it will create another subtopic, maybe one, right? Another subtopic, maybe two. Whatever you want to write, you can write in expansion. Now how to change color and all, it's all simple again. Here is a shape of the color, shape, color as well. Color you can change, or here we want another color, we can have another color, no problem at all. And here also if we want to change the shape, here are the number of shapes we can take, like this also. We want to have a particular font for it. So here is a font, and everything is there, options are there. We can like just have the font we want, and bold or normal, italic, everything, every options is there. The best thing is like we can always means like if we want the same thing everywhere, we can always select the format painter and just keep on pasting it up. And anyway, we here want a different shape. We can have an oval shape also, we can have a separate color also, and we can have this format painter to have this, like the main topic, subtopic, subtopic, we can expand it, right? Whenever we click to the minus button, it folds up like this. Whenever we click to the plus button, it expands like this. Is there any issue? I think someone needs to mute. Okay, so all the basic mind map tools works in this way only. There are several themes available, like you can see here also. There are, if I select this particular presentation in the form of particular theme, they will change it accordingly, like this. Okay, so there are certain themes available, some paid, some free, and there are color combos available. Everything is there, like particular theme also there. You can try that too. You can insert mathematic formula also. There are many options which are in the paid version, obviously, but most of them are free also. For the education purpose, you can use many things which which you can apply and use in a wonderful way, right? Okay, it will first open. Oh, okay, you can insert pictures also from anywhere. Like say I want a picture from anywhere, like say in code I want to tell student to learn, so that picture will be imported. This was in the form of picture in my computer, so I'm just talking about this. So I'll be working the things around it. So introducing a topic in a flipped classroom is an art, and how to do it, that is to be done in a creative manner that some students may get engaged to it, right? And after that, it is the work of student how they present the things, their understanding to you in the class with the help of creative tools. But first you learn to use those creative tools and then allow your student to explore their creativity, right? These are very easy to do. Okay, I'm just winding up this. So let us save it. Oh, before save it, I just wanted to tell you, like, I'll just save it also. Just saved it. Now I want to export it in the form of PDF or JPG. There are ample of options there. So in the form of a graphic format, this is a PNG or JPG, many things. It can be done. So it is also done. Now here it is asked me that if you want a watermark on your, if you don't want any watermark, you have to buy the edition. Otherwise, watermark will come and it will export, no problem at all. But our purpose is education. Our purpose is not to sell or anything, right? So the thing is created, and this is very fast, actually. So I'm just winding it up. Okay, it's done. Now, it was like creating your mind maps. Now, I was talking about the presentation part of it. So, presentation, I told you that they can be made in various forms. Infographics is one of the thing. So I'll just take you to the creating video resources with the help of Flipgrid itself. Okay, so I have just opened my Flipgrid account and just I want to create a video to initiate a discussion. Now, it is to be understood that all the videos which I create using the Flipgrid will be stored in the platform and can be downloaded at any time. They are available, and auto compression features are there, so we don't have to worry much about the sizes and all, right? So here, when you open your account, it will appear like this. And to create a video, we have to first create some topic, add a topic, say teacher Photoshop, right? Share your experience with how do you feel about what do you feel about using flipped classroom approach during COVID teaching learning? Because it's actually very effective. I feel that because students are having access to the gadget. So add the title, add the prompt. Prompt is a question actually. What do you want to see your audience to? And after that, adding image is always optional. So we can add or we cannot. And after that, we can have a private or public group. If we want to create a private group, that we have to enter the student email ID or usernames. And if we are to create a public group, we don't have that, right? Topic moderation is very important. Like if any response is submitted to your grid, first it will not be it will not get public. As an educator, you will review it first. If you find suitable, then you make it public. So this is a very important access to an educator. Now here is the record time, which starts right from, by default it's 1 minute 30 second, but it can be as low as 15 second. You allow the students to answer, or maximum 10 minutes. So this thing can be applied to a simple presentation also, which is like asking a question from a student, or to presenting the whole topic. So 15 second to 10 minutes you can allot. Say I created just 2 minutes. Like, you have the option to choose languages, create topic, and video and textual comment option. Your topic is ready. Now topic is there. Now you have to record a response to initiate a discussion. So it will obviously use my camera. Okay. So here are few options available on the option tab. If I click it, it will start recording me. And if I click this ellipsis, 3 dots, here you see upload a clip which is already there in your computer. You can record your mic, only audio. You can mirror the video. There's a separate thing. Mute and record screen. Record screen is used to screencast actually. Whatever, it will again give you option that you want to record your entire screen, or application window, or Chrome tab only. I want to record my entire screen. Okay, I'll just select it and share. I'll be sharing my screen. But if you want to make a presentation, you start presenting it. Okay. It will be like this. Okay. Say I'm presenting the screen on Flipgrid. Next screen, I'm making a presentation, but it is being recorded within the recording, right? So it's like I'm ending this now. Coming to Flipgrid. Stop recording. Whatever I did has been recorded actually on my screen. Like this. Say I'm presenting this screen. Now, fundamental editing options is there, like trimming your video and adding more. It's like I'm ending this now. Wait, here is my recording video. Now I just reviewed it. Now here, if I don't want a particular thing, I just double click and trim it. Moving head, moving head, moving head. I know from where it started actually. It may be started from here. Okay. So first 13 seconds I have eliminated, and then after that I'll just trim it also from the end. Maybe I want to remove it like this. So this is removing few seconds from the end and front also. Okay. Now it has again trimmed my video, this, from where I started those 3 slides presenting. But it is being recorded within the recording. The quality of recording is pretty good. It captures your camera also, and also your screen, and it automatically compresses because Microsoft compression engine is there. So it's wonderful. Now next, after recording a video, you have an option to select a frame for the this thing, thumbnail, or you can take a selfie also. You can upload your video, or you can add a tag name too. So let me take a selfie only. I can apply some effect like some frame, as you've seen some students also use that when they presented, like that, something like that, whatever you want. Maybe this. Right. So in this way, you can select a particular frame, and then it will create a selfie for you. You write a name. Actors. Recording thing. So it will upload within a few seconds, sometime a minute or two. It depends upon the length of video also, and also the internet speed. It is going on to server, and it extremely safe, as the Microsoft 3-layered servers is there, encrypted one. So this is particular for education. There is no nuisance involved, and the best part is all the video responses are moderated by you. So it is a control of educator what to allow on his grid or not. So it's all easy thing. So this is how a teacher can record his topic up to 10 minutes and post it in the Flipgrid, and ask the student to give a response on this, or he may be asking some question through this video, and student are responding to that also. For doing that, I told you that he has to share a flip code. So after we just finished recording this video, the flip code thing will be appear. I'll be sharing with my students, right? Now it is, I think it's done, and I'll just complete it. So now here you see it's my on response. I am the owner, so it is always active. So I'll just share this code with the students. Now I'll be interacting from the student center. This is the code which I need to share with them, right? Flip code F5E7 and all. And when student will click this code, they will see this. They will view my video, that whatever I have presented them, they will see it, and after that they will record a response. So I'll just record a response from student point of view. The student will have to access to their Microsoft or Google account in order to respond me. So I may be using some other account to respond as a student. Login is successful. Okay. So I was presenting, and they are just recording their response in response to my presentation, right? So here I just recorded maybe next, and I'll just and they are just review it. Their response in presenting, and they are just recording their response in presenting. Okay, I'm just okay. This is a student one, maybe. This is a response. So it again depends upon the length of the video and your internet speed, right? It's always done. So see, now I'll just close the student end. Now I'll open the educator end here. So what you will see here, that there is some activity. One is my video, one is the student's video. So I'll just, if I click the video, I can see it, whatever is there as a teacher, right? Okay, just, it is there, but it is hidden, right? My one is active because I am the owner, but it is hidden. Hidden means first I view it. If I find it suitable, only then I can make it active. This is the effect of the moderation option, right? Main thing. After that, once I see this, I go into the details and I will review the video. Now I want to give the feedback. First is the video comment here. I can just click the camera button and I can record my response directly. First thing, if I want to have a feedback in the form of a rubric on the scale of 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, I can give on ideas and his performance, right? So here I can also write some comment. Anna, you need to check your communication skills, whatever comments you want to post, and just email that feedback. That feedback will be emailed to the students. So textual comment is possible. By default, rubric is there. There is video record feedback is possible. Everything is there, right? And we don't have to worry about the speed. This is the Flipgrid thing. Now I would like to come to the backlit part. How we do it actually. Now, I have already opened a Backlit account. I believe you have received the day one workshop e-content because I shared with Varun, and I'll be sharing more content today. They were the recorded videos from our, we are two educators working together and collaboratively, of course, and also some presentation I shared yesterday with you, right? And same I'll be doing today, more video resources and presentation. Okay. So here, this is the Backlit account. I've already signed into it. This is backlit.com. You type on the Google and after that you can log in. Now, how it can be used in the flipped environment. What I did, I made a group presentation, group collection rather. Every page or every collection on this platform is called collection, right? Collection is the word they use. So here, see, this is one of the presentation I shown you in the blog, which student worked upon. I just threw the topic of cybercrime to my students, 4 or 5 of them, made a group. They worked together on the same platform from their own computers, right? And they curated the various resources from the internet. Few of them were created by them also, like mind maps and all, and this is word clouds also. And after that, they presented the same topic to me in the class, as well as this Backlit collection remained with me as a record also, right? So it was like this is a combination of, this is a cover image of that presentation prepared by student, if you can say. Anchal Damset created this. I was a collaborator viewing everything which is happening inside. So she created some definitions and all. After that, some relevant images. Then she prepared her own mind map also. There were mistakes, no problem at all. But at least she created a mind map, like I showed you through that Mind Master. She, I think, used FreeMind, right? After that, some other students, see, Divya Thakur, contributed on the same, right? With her contribution, some infographics is there. She created some videos, relevant videos to bullying, cyberbullying. And after that, they also created a word cloud, as we discussed yesterday, using word art. And further, they come up with the cyber stalking things. This kind of infographic can easily be created in the Spark. I'll show you right now. Few license-free images they also curated from internet with the help of Pixabay and all, as I told yesterday also. So this is type of cybercrime, and Anchal is there. Now student name will change suddenly because some other student also contributed. 4 or 5 of them were there. Phishing is there. Again, some another topic coming. different type of cyber crimes they covered, even beyond my expectation. Now some another student like Lipakshi Negis, he also contributed in the same presentation, right? So working on the same platform at a same time is basically collaboration, and student are working collaboratively, that too in flipped classroom, where 70% has been done by them, because they were preparing the topic to present to me, so their mind was on purpose. So it was the best thing as a teacher to experience, because when student explore the internet for constructive purposes and they come to you with a presentation, this again Lipakshi means different students, this is how they present it. Now how the things in Wakelet actually works. Wakelet is a very simple platform. It's a to design a collection, and that too collaboratively. It's very easy. You as an educator, you create a new collection, add a cover image. I just click the plus button after that. Here, add a cover image. So easy. Upload an image which is license free or always there in your laptop or computer system. It's downloaded there. So you just need to upload that. Maybe I'll just upload any image, any logo or something. It will take few seconds to do it. This is done. Just save this cover page image, but you can have anything, right? Some title to it, like string job, right? Something like that, some subtitle. After that, you go on adding the things by clicking this magical plus button. By clicking this plus button, you can paste URL, you can add text, you can add YouTube video, you can add tweets, you can add bookmarks, you can add images, upload PDFs, you can add any kind of file imported from your Google Drive or OneDrive if you are using Microsoft, or even you can add your Flipgrid recorded video into it also, right? Like yesterday also, I shared the resources. They were having text also, some URL, some YouTube videos also, and some PDF and images also, right? So it was a combination of many things, right? So here, so what kind of images you are using, they could have been created by you also in the form of infographics also. So it depends upon you. Say, right, in order to add a YouTube video, just search a YouTube video like Flipgrid, maybe. How to use Flipgrid in the classroom. You may add this. It is done. And in order to add some image, you can upload from your own this thing, computer, maybe. This is how it's going to be done. PDF files, easily done. If you have any PDF available with you, maybe a certificate or something, maybe anything, you can always upload it. This is how it is done. It's a demonstration only. So even if you want to add a URL, means say I just want to add my Wakelet blog URL of collaboratively flipped classroom. I just copied the URL and pasted here. It can be to be added. If you want to add some text also, you can always add. It's a wonderful platform to organize the things, right? So classroom and Wakelet. right? So basic editing is always there. You select and heading and bold, italic, and all things, they are always there, as you see out there, right? So this can also be done, but now you are adding as an educator. But if you want your student to collaborate in it, it's very easy. Invite them with the help of email ID, right? You write email ID. I just write email of an educator. Maybe you can both educators can work collaboratively, or you can invite your students to work collaboratively, right? Add this. So one, here it is a message like 2 invites sent. So like after one join your network, this collection will be collaborative. He or she can also edit this, and it will be like working together. You can have a background also. There are some license-free images in the library pertaining to school, college, or education, whatever you want to add. Say maybe this thing. Oops, sorry. Again, coming back to this is the background image. From here, I just selected a library image, right? So here are many things. We can change the layout also. We can have a view of a grid where two resources can be arranged together. We can have a mood board where all the resources can come in the form of small thumbnails. And the best view is always the media views, which we can have. This is creating a resource. And most important, until we make it public, there are three options like public, private, and unlisted. Unlisted, like if we want specific people to access this, then we can make it unlisted. And if we keep it private, it will be accessible to us only. If we make it public, and then anyone can access it or see it, actually, not edit it. Editing can be done only by the people who are collaborating into it. So what I did, I make my student collaborators, 4 or 5 students into a topic. So they will be contributing to the same platform, working together from their independent homes, and later they can present the same presentation to me as they are accessing the same thing simultaneously, right? So this is how I'll come on home. This is as visible as here. Okay. So I was talking about one thing. I think I should infographic. I'm going to tell you. It's very important, actually. I feel it. SparkAdobe.com, right? SparkAdobe.com is a wonderful platform to create infographics, and there are thousands of licensed free images template available, and we can edit those template to create ours. And you can see always like posters these days, or to initiate any topic in flipped classroom are being initiated from this thing. Now, when I did that cyber security discussion started, I also used some infographic they were created here. I'll just show you quickly, and then we'll see how can we do it actually, right? There is one Adobe implementation. Okay, I was having like symposium on cyber security. Okay, you can have a look at the banners which have been created to initiate the discussion using this wonderful platform actually. So here's the banner. There's catchy banners which have been created by using this platform, right? So it makes it interesting here. These ideas, this have been taken from the Adobe infographics also, right? So this is how we can do it. Okay, I'll show you how to make it. So here, when we do this sparkadobe.com, here we have an plus button again to initiate our new project. So if you want to design a flyer, web page, video, means branded graphic, even we can have a presentation also. So every options is there. maybe collage branded presentation options there. We can have some slides and we can play them in the form of video also. Slideshow, we can create a slideshow also. First, I'll just show you to make a flyer to initiate a discussion. So creating mind maps, creating infographics, creating Wordle, means word clouds, creating video resources using Flipgrid, or creating a collection with the help of Backlit to make it collaborative. Everything is of your own. Nothing has been like everything just enough to kindle the flipped classroom approach. Here is like I want to have a school event, maybe a poster of school event, right? So there will be templates which will be showed to me from which I can choose. Maybe it depends upon us. Reading, maybe a book fair is there, whatever kind. There ample of them. Festival is there. We can have anyone. Some cybersecurity event is there. Science fair is there. There are ample of options there available, right? And we can edit it and apply this like this. Say we just want to apply a science fair banner. It's all easy actually. We need to have a whole Spark workshop someday. So it'll be all, you can learn so many things because it's all online, it's free, it's a part of the Adobe Cloud, Creative Cloud rather. And you can become Adobe Creative educators also by accessing this. So this is the banner. Maybe I want to use this template. Right now it is 36% only. I'll make it 50. I'll just click the text to edit it, right? Instead of science, I can make it like book festival, or maybe biotech fest. Fair fest is there, right? So here I may write the name of the school, maybe BNV Shimla. Right. If I want to change some color and all, there are every options there. Text color I can always change, and all these options are always there like this. I can have these color changing options. Everything is there, and dates maybe. December 27, 2020. Like this. So we can edit it one part. We can also image some photographs like logos of your school and all. Upload the photograph here, no problem at all, like this. This is my school logo. I would just want to add it. I'm about to end this, no problem. I'll just take 2 minutes. I just want to say that how easy it is to create a infographic and throw some discussion in your class, and also it is very useful for the teachers to create various kind of banners in your for the schools and all. Wait, I'll just make it 75%, make it bigger. Okay. The grid lines and guidelines will help us create it better, right? There are many options. We can have if we just want to duplicate an element, whether it's a text, here is an option of duplicate button. So this will be replicated multiple times. Whatever you want, you can do many things with, like you can add your own text, you can add your logos, background, many things. You can edit this. Means this is a template on which you can build upon. This is how we can create Adobe Spark simple infographic. And one another platform to create infographic is Easely, EASEL.ly. So Easily is another platform to create infographics where you can create your infographics to introduce a topic, to whether you are teaching history, whether you are teaching English. There are ample of concepts available here. And I'll just log in. I'll just show you. I was teaching computer science. I wanted to teach object-oriented concepts to my student. I just got one tree kind of thing and I just applied it into my classroom. So I just want to show you that. There are, see, you focus on the skill. Tools are ample. Tools are available freely on the internet, and then map it with your syllabus. Creation of content is no issue at all. It can be done with the help of many tools. I'll share the numerous tools with you and how easy they are to apply and use. And moreover, we are regularly creating tutorials for all of them so that educators may learn, and they're all available free of cost on my our YouTube channel also. So it'll be like sharing the resources with the fellow educators. So here, like I just wanted to teach a concept of object-oriented programming. So I just want my student to have this concept absorbed with the help of this 6 or 7 branches of the tree. So this infographic was available. Something else was there. I created my own from it by embedding the concept of encapsulation and abstraction, polymorphism, inheritance, modularity, class, and object. So it made them, it was better to understand for them because it makes things interesting. Sometimes the black and white thing is so boring for the kids, right? So it depends upon your creativity, how well you use your tools to make it happen. I think I'm done here, and I'm open for a QA session with you people. And over to Varun.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much for the wonderful session. Dear teachers, we have about 15 minutes. I think we have got about 10 minutes for the Q&A session. So in case if you've got any questions, you can post them in the chat box, or you can raise your hand and we would be calling out your name. And then you can unmute yourself and you can take it ahead with Amit sir.
Yes, please. Yes, please.
Excuse me, sir.
Yes, Yogesh.
Amit sir. Amit sir, namaste.
Namaste, Yogesh.
Hello. Myself Yogesh Sorone
Yes.
from Government of Maharashtra.
Right.
I have used one time mind map
Okay.
for my teachers because
Okay.
I attend various training for my teachers.
Okay.
Sir, I just request you, what is the typical use of mind maps for elementary education?
See, for elementary education, if you want, see, a mind map is a memorization tool to learn any concept. It's a memorization tool actually. Whenever you finish a chapter, right, and you ask the student to summarize that chapter in the form of a mind map. Like I ask student elementary also, middle age also, and senior secondary also. This is used for 2 things: either to introduce a topic with its various wings, various types and all, or either to ask your student to create mind map to summarize the topic. This is used in 2 ways. Like if you are teaching anything like in elementary education, you are teaching any concept, small concept of sciences or small concept of languages, and say I think what example should I take? Like you also teach them this thing, environment concept also you teach, na? Pollution, type of
Yes,
pollution and all.
like
Okay.
like
Please.
family tree of
Yes,
historical
okay.
persons.
Family tree is also there. I think primary kids are also aware this thing is like these days about the types of pollutions or type of resources on the earth and all that for fundamentals. So whenever we introduce those fundamental to them, mind map is actually very important. When you create a mind map which opens right? Like you create a mind map first and then make it close, like I did with you all, right? You unfold the mystery. First, ask them that what could be the possible type of pollutions that they tell number one this, number two this, number three, and sometimes they forget the fourth one. And you tell that okay, try more. They do the critical thinking. After that, you expand the mind map, and it will be like, oh, what happens? Oh, wow, this is like you when you start a topic, you can also create, go into the class and introduce that topic with the help of opening up mind map, or you can also ask your student to create mind map. After you completed a topic, you ask them to summarize the topic in the mind map.
Okay. Okay. Thank you, sir. Amit, sir. Thank you.
Right, right, Manish.
Hello.
Yes,
Hello,
please.
sir.
Yes, please.
Hello. Sir, I have a doubt. Actually, it's
Yes,
related actually.
please.
IPR related. If I take anything from the internet for the education purpose,
Mhm.
shall I mention that from where I have taken?
Yes, absolutely. Whether you are taking it for educational purpose, this is to be, at least the source has to be mentioned.
Okay.
Yes,
So it will
everything.
not come then IPR under.
Yes,
Okay.
yes. Because IPR is very sensitive. Actually, people ignore this, but if you read the entire IPR documents, everything on internet, which is someone else's creation, is someone's intellectual property. And even if we use it for educational purpose, the question may be raised. He has the right to object. Normally, it doesn't happen, but whenever it happens in a big way, and it's a big problem then.
So it should be like this. If I take a statement, beside the after that statement within the bracket, I have to mention the source.
Yeah, right, absolutely right.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Right. Because whenever we create something of our own, if we create a mind map of our own, we can say that it's our mind map. But if we are using someone else's creation for demonstration or in our education, do mention the source, do credit the author, because it will create a culture for you also, and in turn it will come to you. Someone someday will be showing something on the screen, maybe 5 year or 10 year down the line, and he will be mentioning you that the source of the information was Mr. Yogesh or Mr. XYZ, and you will be astonished and you will be amazed to see that the culture has happened and everyone is crediting every other's work. They are not just plagiarizing the works, right? Am I making sense here?
Yes, sir. Understood, sir. So that
Yes.
means I should openly tell that I have taken from an area.
Yes.
This is not that is the information.
No. It's a healthy practice. It's a healthy practice, and it will develop a culture across a whole the education system. And we want it to be happen, because someday your creation will be mentioned by someone, and you will be very happy, right?
Yes.
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 Right.
Yes. Thank you.
Anything else? I will be posting more video and audio, video and PDF resources for you through Varun sir, and he will be passing it to you. And in future too, if you have any query regarding education purpose only, feel free to contact me. I'm all for education, always open. So no issue here. Sometime maybe I remain busy, but I always respond to any.
Sir, kindly share your number and email address, please.
Yeah, actually, okay. I will just share something. I think in this collaborative approach document also, my every detail is there. I just shared a link with you, which is a backlit blog collaborative with Classroom, in which my email ID and my Twitter handle, and I think my number was also there. My school name was also there. Everything is there. Moreover, you can always access through internet. No problem. Everything I share on the internet is free. Yes, please.
So, Miss Arti, if you can unmute yourself and you can ask
Yes,
the question.
yes, please. Please, Art.
नमस्ते सर.
Yes.
सर नमस्ते.
हाँ जी. नमस्ते. नमस्ते.
सर मुझे एक रिक्वेस्ट थी आप लोगों से, एक थोड़ा निवेदन है कि आप लोग इस तरह के सेशन हिंदी में भी रखा करिए ना प्लीज.
Okay. I'll ask Varun ji to sometime arrange a Hindi group. I'll be happy to come and share, because with NCRT I do the sessions in both languages, Hindi as well as in English. So I'll be sharing those resources with you also. So.
बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद सर. बहुत बहुत.
Welcome.
Okay. Teachers, I think we have time for one last question. If there is a question, you can please ask the teachers. If you can please ask Amit sir here. Okay. So thank you once again, Amit sir, for facilitating such a wonderful session. And ma'am, yes, we would be taking care. मतलब आगे जाके अगले साल में we would be having specific groups for languages itself, और आगे जाके हिंदी में भी हम लोग करेंगे sessions. And once again, thank you so much, sir, for taking your time out and facilitating this wonderful session. And probably the most important topic of 2020, I would say. This year has been very, very different.
Absolutely.
And in that regards, when we look at the push that teachers have had towards entering the digital foray and expanding their horizons in this arena, creating content is the best format to reach multiple or millions of students out there. And content as a format, it's as well is very strange, because people don't really understand what works and what doesn't, and it really takes some time to build that skill. So I think you have greatly explained to us about how we can create amazing content using free tools out there, and use collaborative techniques to ensure that there's better learning experience for the children out there as well. So thank you so much for that, and thank you so much for facilitating such a wonderful session, sir. It was an absolute honor to host you, and I'm really looking forward that going forward as well, we would be collaborating in the near future.
Thank you, Varun. Thank you.
So dear teacher,
thank you, Mr.
Yes, sir. I'm so sorry.
Excuse
Please.
me, Varun. Mr. Varun, sorry for interruption. Can you please post today's session, because due to some issue, it is I am unable to understand. Yeah.
Sure.
Hello,
Sure.
Varun sir.
Thank you.
Hello, Varun
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Can we make a WhatsApp group of all our teachers that we can get new ideas in future?
Sir, we have WhatsApp groups, sir. We have about 30-40 WhatsApp groups. I would be sharing the link here. You can join that.
Yes. Thank you.
Thank you. So, dear teachers, I just have a couple of announcements before we make a move. So, I request all the teachers to first please fill the feedback form. The link has been mentioned on the screen. It is bit.ly/27 December feedback. Every single detail, including the WhatsApp groups link, would be shared to you directly to the email, and only if you fill the feedback form, because we don't capture your email address when you enter the session via Microsoft Teams. So it becomes very difficult for us to keep in touch with you after the session, and that is exactly the reason why we take in your feedback. And as an exercise, we also take your email address so that we can reach out to you in the next near future. Number one. Number two is that if you're on Twitter or Facebook or Instagram or or LinkedIn as well, you can follow Amit sir, and he's really active on Twitter. His handle's name is @Amit_NFU, and you can reach out to him. In addition to that, like sir had mentioned, his contact details and his email address have been mentioned in the link that has been pasted in the chat box. So you can go to that link and you can reach out to him via mail as well. And if you're on Twitter, you can post your thoughts on Twitter and tag us, tag @ChatIndia and tag Teacher Tweets, and let us know about this session. And this entire year has been sort of different in all different ways. So teacher as a collective unit as well, we focus on three different things. One is community, where we have all these networks where teachers share opportunities, ideas, and resources. Number two, on the jobs front, we have over 100 plus hiring partners that are actively hiring on the platform, and every single day there are 30 plus high paying teaching jobs or vacancies that are posted on the platform. So the next couple of the next year, we are scaling the platform, and we have got some very interesting innovations that are happening on the platform itself. So it'll be amazing if you would be a part of the community. And currently, we are a global community of teachers from 9 countries using the platform. So we intend to improve the scale and impact more teachers across the globe as we move into the newer year. And given that just this year through our training session we have trained 8,500 plus teachers, all because of support of faculties like Amit sir, who have been and a lot of other faculties, some of whom have attended this session, like Sumedha ma'am and others. So thank you so much for helping us out in ensuring that we take this moment ahead, we take the teacher revolution ahead, and impact more teachers across the globe and make them get have them access to all sorts of teaching opportunities that come their way. So thank you so much, sir. It means a lot that you have taken your time out for a weekend. I understand that it's a very busy week, and it means a lot to all of us as teacher.
It's okay, Varun. I need
Once
education.
again,
Thank you so much. Thank you, and happy New Year to all of you.
Thank you, sir.
Bye.
Happy New Year to you. Same to you, sir. Amit sir.
Same. All the best for your future endeavors, sir. Bye, sir.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you, Mr.
Welcome.
Happy New Year, sir, everyone.
great, sir. Happy New Year, dear teachers.
Bye.
So I'm posting the
Thank
WhatsApp
you,
group
sir.
link in the chat box.
Thank
So
you, sir. Same to you.
Yeah.
Welcome, ma'am. Right now. Okay, Varunji. Thank you.
Thank
Bye-bye.
you, sir.